Welcome, Ms. Mason. I think we served in the building at the same time at one point.
Yes, we did, ma'am.
So I know exactly what the inner sanctum of the Secretary's office looks like, and if you're behind those doors, you're in the inner sanctum. You're not just floating out there, so you probably saw him a lot more than you are trying to lead us to believe. I just want to follow up on your answer to Senator Hirono. Are you invoking attorney-client privilege and not responding to her question?
No, I simply, thank you for the question, Senator Duckworth, and it is a pleasure to see you again. No, I'm not. I'm simply saying that there are situations that I may have advised the Secretary on that wouldn't be appropriate for me to talk about. This question she asked me was a question that I could answer, that I was not engaged and involved with, and it was not my place to offer my opinion in that situation.
Did you advise the Secretary on setting the 80,000 goal for firing VA employees?
And no, Senator Duckworth, thank you. I was not involved in that decision.
Congress established offices of Inspector General in 1978 to, quote, create independent objective units within agencies. I'm going to continuing on the question line that my colleagues have already started. But critics have questioned whether a federal agency IG can truly be, quote, independent if these officials can be fired by a president who leads the administration and IG is tasked to oversee. Now, to be fair, Congress has recognized the weakness of allowing a president to silence an IG who might uncover problems that an administration would prefer to sweep under the rug. In fact, 30 years after the passage of the original IG Act, Congress amended the law to enhance transparency and oversight over potential IG firings. Ms. Mason, can you please remind our committee of what Congress did in passing Section 3 of the IG Reform Act of 2008?
Let me see if I remember that one.
Would you like a copy of it? I can give you a copy.
That would be wonderful, ma'am.
Mr. Chairman, I ask unanimous consent to provide the witness with a copy of the act.
Without objection.
Thank you, sir. Thank you, Senator Duckworth, and I do remember reading this now. Yes, I think it's really important to note that 2008 was where the Congress put in some protections about the 30-day notice and some other areas that asked the president to do so before removing an IG.
Thank you, Ms. Mason. So I raised the core issue of IG independence because the unfortunate reality is this. Your nomination is only possible because President Trump fired without a cause or explanation, let alone the 30-day advance notice is required by law, that the Honorable Michael Missile, who had effectively served as VA IG since 2016. Ms. Mason, did President Trump violate federal law when he indiscriminately fired IG Missile and failed to provide Congress with a written notice at least 30 days in advance of the removal of his and fire the independent and nonpartisan VA Inspector General?
Well, Senator Duckworth, I appreciate that question. And again, that issue is currently before the courts, and I would have to defer to the courts and the judge to make that decision. And after they make that decision, I will be happy to answer the question.
Then I will come back to you.
Okay.
It's a simple question. As we discussed, the law is clear. It requires written notification to Congress, and it mandates that such notice be delivered at least 30 days in advance. Look, a key reason that Congress established the IG law, IGs, was to help ensure any given presidential administration complies with the law. And I am deeply troubled that you are unwilling to simply identify President Trump's textbook violation of the law. And your nomination was literally made possible because President Trump committed that textbook violation of the law when he fired IG Missile, so that he could appoint his own hand-picked appointee, you. IGs must be willing to speak truth to power. So let's try a far simpler yes or no question. Ms. Mason, did President Joe Biden win the 2020 presidential election?
The 2020 presidential election, I believe he did, yes.
Okay, thank you. And if given an illegal and unconstitutional order by either the Secretary of Veterans Affairs or President Trump, what would your actions be?
I will always follow the law, Senator Duckworth, just as I did as chairman, with the same president in office, as well as with Mr. Biden, with President Biden in office.
Thank you. And you're back, Mr. Chairman.